to Michigan in Ann Arbor. Not gonna lie, that one hurt. Let's go.
Are Locked On Spartans, your daily podcast on the Michigan State Spartans, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Spartan friends, Spartan family, Locked On Spartans listeners, thank you so much for tuning in and starting your week, or hey, maybe ending your weekend with us here at Locked On Spartans, your team every single day. Before we get any further, hey, with LinkedIn Jobs, you can help hire qualified candidates more efficiently by matching open roles with people who have the skills, values, and experience to help you achieve your 2023 goals. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. Now, if you're one of actually, I just see it right now. One viewer. Hello, one viewer. Yes, we are trying a live show right now on YouTube. We're doing that for two reasons. One, why not? Let's just give it a try. And number two, on Monday night, me and old co-host, you already know who he is, Will Hunter, will be on the show. We're going to have a Spartan Strong-a-thon. So if you donate at least $10 to the Spartan Strong Initiative, send us a screenshot, either tweet it at me, Sheehan_sports, or lockedonspartans@gmail.com with a question. We're going to answer any and every question. Now, if you've already donated, if you donated to another initiative, like any of these GoFundMes that are out there as well, send a screenshot of that as well. Send us your question. It's going to be a long night for us. We're going to answer every single question, and oh boy, you know how long-winded we can get. All right, so that's just something I wanted to clear out right now before, I guess, getting into this show. And this is not missed with me. It's probably not missed with you. This is going to be a weird one. This will be a weird show because this game was in the shadow of everything that happened last week. And what Izzo said in the pregame hype video really just said it best. Like, we are not trying to play this game to become bigger than what happened. We're not trying to erase everything that happened. This is just something that can maybe help us offer distraction to everything that's happened last week. So, yeah, it's a tough game. We're going to have some things to say about what we saw, but at the end of the day, does it really hold much water to everything else that's happened? I don't know. We're going to find our way through this conversation of the game. Going to try to be delicate about it, but yeah, we have to talk about it. And there's no question that one hurt. That one hurt for a multitude of reasons. The first is the obvious, right? I don't need to elaborate any further on that as to what the community at Michigan State has gone through. A nice win over your rival helps, I guess. It's something to put a smile on your face, so don't need to elaborate on that. But it would have been nice just, if we're talking inside the line stuff, that would have helped Michigan State's tournament seeding, right? Okay, they started as a 7 seed according to the bracket matrix. Right now, after that loss, they are bumped back to an 8 seed. And you could have talked yourself into, hey, maybe Michigan State can keep climbing up this ladder, getting to that 6 seed line. Hey, that'd be nice. And also, too, let's not lie to ourselves here. Would have been really nice to, for once and for all, put Michigan season into the wood chipper, never to be seen again. They're barely hanging on by a thread, and that win gives them a little more rope. So, yeah, it's just the rivalry itself. You want to keep those guys out of the tourney and keep your resume building stronger. But really, God, this is, as far as in between the lines goes, this is the biggest reason it hurts, is because Michigan State was the better team for seemingly 33, 35 minutes of that game. And even I think the most diehard Michigan fan would agree with that. MSU played really good for the first 85% of that game, but unfortunately, it's a 40-minute game. It's a 40-minute game, and Michigan State fell apart at the end. They just made 3 field goals in the final 9 minutes of that game. So you tie that in, and also just the fact that you had so many great performances by Spartans. Obviously, Spartans that have gone through a lot this week. I can't imagine the pressure, what they must have felt going into that game. And take all that away, just playing in front of a rival crowd. Okay, that isn't easy either, but you got some incredible performances. You got 24 points off the bench 14 from Malik Hall. You had Joey Hauser absolutely making it rain with 20 points. Tyson Walker, 11 points. Jaden Akins had that throw down dunk. It just looks so good everywhere. And AJ Hogarth didn't have his best shooting day, but everywhere else he had a strong performance, but it didn't matter. And that's what really hurts. Oh, my God. Not just offensively, too, for Michigan State. I mean, they scored 72 points. That's a really good performance on the road. But defensively, for the first 35 minutes of the game, outstanding job. They held Hunter Dickinson to 14 points and 7 rebounds. Jet, by and large, was silent for most of the night, and that was even before his injury. He was contained. Also contained was Kobe Buffkin. And, well, he kind of ended the game there with that miracle three-point shot. That's an incredible shot. Nothing else to say about that. But those 3 guys were contained. But everywhere else, you had Terrace Reed going for a career-high 10 rebounds and tying his career high with 8 points. Doug McDaniel, career-high 18 points. He had 7 points before your chair even got warm at home. So that was an anomaly, and that hurts. But just really, God, just cringe reading this stat. 14 offensive rebounds for Michigan, 13 second chance points. And look, okay, I know the final score was 84-72. If you watch that game, you know it was a lot closer than that. And no, I'm not saying that as a moral victory. Oh, hey, it kept it no. It's just honest in the dialogue that we're having here is that was a closer game than a 12-point swing at the end. And look, AJ said it after the game too. He had that tech in the first half. Okay, I think he was chipping a little bit and got to jawing, if you will, like as you do in a rivalry. That gets called for a tech these days. We could argue if that's fair or foul, but the rule is the rule. He admitted after the game that, yeah, you're right. I got to keep it in check. Michigan State could have used those 2 points at the end of the game. Or how about the missed dunk from your center with no one around him? Could use those 2 points or any of the rebounds that fell right into the chest of the players. And then, there it goes. So before adding on some takes here, we're going to have a lot of disclaimers for what I'm about to say as it pertains to the game. And we have to talk about the center position again. And first of all, I got to apologize for tweets that I had on Saturday night, and they weren't off color. Like, I was critical of the center position, of course, namely Mady Sissoko. And I want to apologize for that because that was stupid. That was horrible judgment on my part. I've no one to blame. That's the first reason for everything these guys have gone through this week. Yeah, being critical of the center position, could have saved that for maybe a few weeks down the line. But the second reason I also want to apologize too for those takes is that, you know what, maybe at this point, it isn't maybe entirely on Mady Sissoko, right? I mean, he's not the one checking himself. He's not the one checking himself into the game. He's not the one that is making himself play 21 minutes. Well, Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper are playing a combined 17 minutes. That comes down to coaching. And here's another disclaimer. Tom Izzo has been incredible this week for the Michigan State community, right? I got to say all this just to make myself feel better and to show you guys that I'm not just a totally unaware a-hole here. What he's meant to the university has been incredible. Everything he said at the vigil, everything he said in the video before the game, knocked it out of the park. Okay, but we're going to separate the human Tom Izzo and the coach Tom Izzo because I don't get it anymore at this point with running Mady Sissoko 21 minutes. And yes, believe me, I know a few minutes ago I just said that Hunter Dickinson was contained to 14 points and 7 rebounds. Mady Sissoko was there for it. But I think it was more so the double teams that they had on Hunter. They were so smart with going down there, disrupting the action whenever he got the ball. Yes, Mady did a good job keeping him away from the hoop here and there, but I think it was more so of the actual double teams. And look, you look at the box score plus minus, it does not look pretty. You just look at the eye test. I mean, rebounds that just aren't being grabbed, dunks that are being missed. It's almost like we're having deja vu of football season where, hey, awesome, our center has no one around him. This is great. We're going to dunk this thing. It's actually, I don't have confidence that that's going to go in the hoop. It's the same as watching a field goal kicker walk out for a 28-yarder this year. It should be a chip shot, should be easy, but deep down inside, you know that that's probably not going in. So we are at the point now where I'm wondering why, why this is happening. And no, I'm not saying he's unplayable, because you have to play him. You have to have 5 guys on the court, and the depth behind isn't that great. But I would like to see a little more than just 17 combined minutes from Carson Cooper and Jackson Kohler, as they were having good games. And yes, they get pulled after instant mistakes. You know, these 2 freshmen, once they have a mistake, you're on the bench. I don't see that a lot with the junior, who isn't anywhere close to hitting his ceiling now. I think we've seen enough sample size, whether it be this season or the whole career. This is not working. This is not working. So baffling to see him play so many minutes as opposed to the other 2 centers. And that's another episode of, hey, let's talk about the center position, because look, everywhere around the court, the other 4 positions, incredible performances. But it was a power play. It was 4-on-5 basketball elsewhere, and that's the reason why you lose that game. Again, I know it was a 12 points in the end, but it wasn't that. So we're going to talk more about this game. We're actually going to hear from you guys in a hot second. But first, I need to talk your ear off about LinkedIn Jobs. That's right. You already know what LinkedIn is. That's right. It's the best social media platform out there for hiring and getting hired. As a small business owner or hiring manager, you know that success in 2023 all depends on the team members you surround yourself with. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. With LinkedIn Jobs, you can hire qualified candidates more efficiently by matching open roles with people who have the skills, values, and experience to help you achieve your goals. LinkedIn Jobs helps you quickly attract qualified candidates to your open jobs with targeting tools. Identify the most qualified candidates on LinkedIn Jobs and connect with them fast, and best of all, for free. There's no wondering why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs number 1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. So what are you waiting for over there? LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That is linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right. So hopefully everyone is enjoying this live show. If you're one of the 13 people, look, a baker's dozen for us. Oh, they're letting us get hot out here on this little Sunday afternoon. Now it's down to a dozen. Shoot, opened my mouth too soon. I sent out a tweet early Sunday, and of course, if you want to get in on the action, lockdownspartans@gmail.com. I said, hey, what is going to make this a successful season for you? What do you have to see the rest of the year for this to be successful? And there's a lot of agreeing going on in the mentions. A lot of people saying Sweet 16, get to the second weekend, maybe the Final Four in the Big Ten tournament. I think that's the majority, some combination of that. And it's funny how the world works, right? When it comes to rivalries, a lot of what comes around goes around. Hey, I'll start on a fun note for us. Football season wasn't great. We didn't make a bowl. You have to catch a lot of barbs from the other guys saying, oh, what bowl game are you in, Sparty? Well, hey, fast forward to basketball season, and if things continue to go the way they're going in Ann Arbor, we'll be throwing barbs at them for not making March Madness. Now, on the contrary, last year, look, Michigan didn't have a great year. They were 9th in the Big Ten. They make the Sweet 16, and all of a sudden, we're laughing at them for saying that's a successful season. Like, oh my God, that's where your standards are? 9th place in the conference and making a Sweet 16 is all it takes for a success? Well, here we are, because now we're kind of in the same boat here, hoping for a Sweet 16 just to maybe call it a successful season. So we get examples of this all the time in the rivalry of what comes around goes around. Now, of course, Michigan State wasn't a preseason top 20 team like Michigan was last year, but I digress. And that is something that your ego, I'm not talking about you, that's the person's name here on Twitter, wrote. So let me get this straight. Most fans were all looking at a rebuilding year for Michigan State before this season started. They probably are going to make the NCAA tournament again, but for some reason, this is not a successful year. So yeah, maybe that is a gut check too, is that Michigan State was on the outside of the top 25 going into the season. Just on the outside of the top 25. Okay, that might be like a 7 seed or an 8 seed. And now look at where Michigan State is right now. Like the season is actually falling in line with what a lot of people expected. Now, with that said, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be disappointed or, upset, because it's not missed here that, yeah, it's going to be the 3rd year in a row that you're kind of limping to the finish line of the season, getting a high seed, and then probably getting 86th out of the tournament in the first weekend. So yeah, just seeing 2 weekends of basketball at this point, you take what you can get. Far cries away from the conversations we had of, hey, this team can make a deep run, but as the weeks and the games go on, I'm starting to see that light dim a little bit. So I just want to go through a lot of your other answers because, look, if you want to know my thoughts, if I haven't bloviated enough this episode, yeah, I think that is going to have to be what we have for success. Just the second weekend in the tournament, just beat one of these top seeds, whether it's going to be the 2 seed that you would face in the second round, or dare I say the 1 seed. Like, that'd be very exciting. It'd be cool. It'd be a great time. But yeah, look, the Big Ten title's toast. Big Ten tournament title, sure, if that moves the needle for you. I just don't see it happening. I think there's a lot of other teams in the Big Ten that are playing way above Michigan State's level at this point, whether it be Northwestern, Indiana, which would be a fun game at home on Tuesday, Purdue. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Oh, man. Carter writes, close out the regular season on a win streak, win a couple in the Big Ten tournament, take your first tournament game and at least fight like hell in the next one. Lucas writes in, make the tournament and get to Saturday in the Big Ten tournament. Shrek Hat Guy writes in a more detailed explanation, something that goes even beyond the game. Development, so next season we are more successful. I want to see Hall and Akins be as aggressive as yesterday. Consistency from AJ and Tyson, and I want to see the freshman bigs learn how to catch the ball. It's very important, and get positioning for rebounds, Sweet 16, and that development is success. So there you have it. That is really the majority of what everyone is seeing. And there are some people that are saying, just make the tournament. By God, please. Oh my God, just make the tournament by any means necessary. I can't fault them for being a little panicked. We have cut it close here in the last 2 years, and look, if it gets a little slippery here in these last 4 regular season games, and I say 4 regular season games because I don't have any inside information. I don't have a little mole on the inside of the athletic department. I just don't think that this Minnesota game ever gets rescheduled. Looked at Minnesota's schedule, looked at Michigan State's schedule, and there is not a day where both teams can have a 2-day break between games either before or after. So I just don't think it happens. These are teams that are not competing for a Big Ten title, so ultimately it doesn't really mean much. So that's why I say 4 regular season games, right? You got Indiana at home, you're at Iowa, you're at Nebraska, home against Ohio State. BartTorvik.com says you're going to be favored in 3 of those games. Would you care to guess which one Michigan State is not favored in? It is not Tuesday's game. Michigan State is actually favored, according to the computers at Bart Torvik. Michigan State is favored against top 20 Indiana by 3 points. They're actually 2-point underdogs at Iowa coming up this weekend. So if Michigan State wins the rest of their games, let's say they have a win in the first round of the Big Ten tournament and then lose in the second round, okay, you could type all that into BartTorvik.com. What it spat out at us was that they are the first 7 seed. So they are on the cusp of a 6 seed if they can win 5 in a row here, which isn't crazy to think about. Yes, they will have tough games. Indiana's not a cakewalk by any means. Iowa, yeah, you're underdogs. You could win that game, but you get my point. Now, it does get slippery. If you lose 3 of these games, and okay, Bart Torvik says you're on like that deep in the 9 line or the 10 line, and there's a lot of importance now on Tuesday because that Tuesday game is going to be your last good win that you could possibly have. Yes, Iowa will be considered a quad 1 win as well, going on the road to that joint, but having a win against Indiana, top 20 team this late in the season, could pay dividends when the selection committee makes their final call. So it's a big game because also, if you do win on Tuesday, that also gets you some leash, right? If you do drop a game against Iowa or, oh my God, you lose back-to-back to Iowa and Nebraska, you still have a pretty big cushion to even miss the tournament. So no, Tuesday isn't going to be the final nail to make the tournament, but it puts the hammer in the hand and the nail right on that piece of plywood. So it's a 4-game Tuesday. We'll be talking a lot about that game tomorrow. We're going to be talking with the guys at Assembly Call, one of the biggest podcasts in Big Ten country. These guys do an awesome job. They are, of course, an Indiana podcast. So we're going to be talking up and down about that game on tomorrow's show as well. And really quick, I just want to plug again, Spartan Strongathon. Send your question, the receipt of your donation over to lockedonspartans@gmail.com. And also throughout the week, like Tuesday and Wednesday on the podcast, we will sprinkle in snippets of the Spartan Strongathon as well. So yes, live show Monday night on YouTube. We'll be tweeting that out and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's about it for basketball right now. Yeah, oh god, that hurt. That hurt on Saturday. I would love to front and say, it's just a silly little game. That didn't hurt so bad, but God, that hurt a lot. That hurt a lot. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna wait till Tuesday, and hopefully Michigan State can get a win at a game that's tipping off at like 11:30 p.m. on a week. God, I sound like Izzo right now. But okay, no, you know what? You guys don't want to hear me gripe. I'll leave the griping to the Hall of Fame coach that you guys all love and respect. But hey, you know what? Before we get you out the door here, I need to talk your ear off about Built Bar. That's right, gang. Built Bar is taking care of you in 3 ways. The first way, taste buds. That's right. When you bite into a Built Bar, it says right here in front of me, hey, say it tastes as good as a candy bar, but I'm going to shoot you straight. It tastes better than a candy bar. We're talking dynamite flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, coconut, almond. You're going to find the flavor you love at Built.com. Now, the second way they take care of you is they're going to take care of your body. That's right. Each Built Bar has about 130 calories, just 4 grams of sugar, but a whopping 17 grams of protein. This is not your old-fashioned protein bar where you're going to feel weighed down after that. And you're just going to feel sluggish. No. It's light, but you feel the power. And the third way Built Bar takes care of you is with convenience, as if Built.com wasn't convenient enough. Let's say you're at Walmart, or let's say you're at Sam's Club. You can now go to the pharmacy section and get a 4-bar box of Built Bars. That's right, just while you're running your errands. So, hey, whether it's Sam's Club, Walmart, or Built.com, go stock up on those Built